Thank you for turning on and tuning into this episode of Musings from a Small Island with your host, Saul Luckman. Musings from a Small Island is my new podcast inspired by my forthcoming memoir of the same name. In both podcast and book, my goal is to provide an artistic take on the world and the situations that affect us all, while serving it up with equal parts irreverent humor and wide-ranging philosophy of a generally optimistic nature. If you'd like to learn more about Musings from a Small Island, as well as my other books, I invite you to subscribe to my irregular newsletter at www.crowrising.com. By doing so, you'll also gain access to a treasure trove of free content, including complimentary online versions of at least 2 of my books. I also encourage you to follow my blog, Snooze to Awaken, Resources for Lucidity, at www.snoozetoawaken.com. There you can stay in the loop daily of what's really going on this insane awakening planet we call home. Speaking of waking up, my award-winning novel, Snooze, A Story of Awakening, is serialized as an audiobook on my blog. So, sweet dreams. Finally, on whatever venue you find yourself listening to this podcast, please take a moment to hit the follow button and give it a like if you like it. I don't know how long this recording will be. I really want to take this opportunity to update whoever might be out there listening to this musings on a number of projects and events that I have on my plate right now that you might be interested in. And the first of these is taking place, well, the actual event, and it is called The Event, is taking place between the 17th and the 21st of December. And it's really, really cool. Let me pull up a good description of that. Give me half a second. This is put on by Mike Winner of Alpha Vedic and Josh Del Sol. A really amazing group of people are involved in this very empowering thing that's happening. It's an online virtual series of workshops and seminars. It's called The Event, and I subtitled it on a video that I posted on my YouTube channel, Crow Rising. I subtitled it as Empower Yourself at this month's online gathering of great holistic minds. In the words of co-founder Mike Winner, here's the description: the event, where on December 21st, I'm honored to give a free online address titled Potentiate Your DNA Workshop, is a mindset-driven, solutions-focused 5-day summit this December, culminating on the winter solstice. Daily talks, workshops, panels, and live streams can be watched for free for 24 hours. We've added some fun new interactive tools and workshops to help bring attendees deeper into the fold and allow for better connections and community growth in the real world. We hope the event will help you crystallize your soul purpose, SOUL, for being in this realm so you can be empowered to take action in 2022. Join us today. And so I will put a link to the event in the description, even though I don't put very many links. You can also read more about my workshop over at Snooze to Awaken, and that's snooze with the number 2, snoozetoawaken.com. That's my blog, and a lot of my content I'm channeling and funneling through the blog. So that's really a great place to subscribe and follow what I'm doing. The blog post about the event that I have posted right now is The Event, Learn How to Potentiate Your DNA to Resist or Heal Vaccine Damage and More, in this free online workshop on the revolutionary healing science, quote unquote, of the regenetics method. And that revolutionary healing science is a quote from Nexus magazine from some years ago when they reviewed my first book on this method called Conscious Healing. So I really invite you to sign up for that workshop. It's free. If you sign up for the event by following the link, you also get a free e-copy, an ebook of my international best-selling book, Potentiate Your DNA, which is now available also in Spanish, and it will soon be in French. So that's I'm very excited about these translations coming forward. You get a free copy of that, and you get you get a lot of free material. And the workshop features some really, really incredible folks. It features uh, Dr. Tom Cowan, uh, Dr. Andrew Kaufman, Dr. Kelly Brogan, whom I interviewed not too long ago. That interview is also on my blog. It's let me find the title of that so that you can look that up over at snooze2awaken.com. That was such a good interview. I really, really enjoyed that. Harmonizing the sacred feminine and masculine. And the rest of that is to access the third riverbank of being with Dr. Kelly Brogan. There's also, gosh, Sayer G, who's Kelly's husband. There's Charles Eisenstein. If you're familiar with his work, I was publishing his articles in my e-zine DNA Monthly literally a decade and a half ago or thereabouts, a long time ago. Really, really an amazing thinker about the awakening consciousness that's going on right now. There are just I don't know how many speakers, but it's a really full lineup, and there's a lot of free material that you get just for signing up for free. And then you can listen to everything for free. If you want to own the content beyond like the 24-hour listening window they set for each workshop or each chat or speech or talk, then I think you have to pay something like $60. It's a ridiculously low fee for the amount of content that they're serving up, and it's very practical. My talk is actually the last talk of the entire workshop before the closing ceremony or closing talk. And in a way, in talking with Mike Winter, who's a co-founder of the event, he really visualized the entire workshop building up to my workshop, because it's such a practical application of so many of the concepts that will be discussed in the workshop, having to do with the healing power of consciousness and the power of the mind and the nature of DNA and various other things that will be talked about during the workshop. So I had the idea to actually teach it live, to empower people to go out there and fish instead of catching fish for people. I really wanted people to be able to take this work out into the world and fortify themselves, their family, their friends, their colleagues, for all areas of life, really, but specifically as things stand, to fortify people against this onslaught of vaccines. Because what happened to me years ago, and I've talked about this in, ad nauseum in so many different interviews and in my books, I was vaccine damaged. I got very ill. I tried many different things to heal myself. I was unsuccessful in large measure, or for the most part, until I developed this technique along with my partner Lee, called the Regenetics method. It's a technique for activating your DNA using sound and thought. And the first activation in the Regenetics method is called Potentiation, and that's what this workshop is on. It's about an hour-long workshop where I'm just teaching you the nuts and bolts that you can take alongside your free copy of Potentiate Your DNA and actually study how to do the work. The only thing you would need at that point to do the work is a 528 hertz tuning fork. That's the Mi note in the solfeggio scale. That's available all over the place online. It's also available at the Phoenix Center for Regenetics. That's phoenixregenetics.org. That's the Regenetics website. So you can check that out. You can also buy a whole kit of forks if you're interested in having the 6-note solfeggio scale. There are those out there who have extrapolated that scale to a 9-note scale, and I think that's not necessary, and I don't subscribe to that position. But there are people out there doing that. So in any case, I'm going to move along now to some, to some other news.